In today's fast-paced world, leadership is about creating meaningful change. Don't miss this inspiring conversation with Myrtho René, a dynamic leader in finance and public service, as she shares her journey from the Central Bank of Haiti to spearheading national progress. Welcome to PhD with Women on IT, Hack the Future. My name is Beata Young, and today's PhD Positivity Hack delivered will be by our guest, Myrtho René. Topic From Barriers to Breakthroughs, a journey of leadership in Haiti. Episode 158 starts here. Let me remind you, this is a grassroots community that focuses on women in technology, startups, and female leaders. And we are supported by men as well. And I bring heart to that hustle because empathy is my mojo, and empathy is critical when you are on a journey to leadership in Haiti or anywhere in the world. First, let me mention the things that's been happening in the world of technology. A round of applause to our former PhD guest, Elizabeth Naumowski, for ringing the opening bell last October 7th at the Canadian Securities Exchange. Congratulations to the founder and CEO Karen Newman for winning the Tech Entrepreneur of the Year at the Midlands Women in Tech Award. We wish you all the success. Cheers to our former PhD guest, Nina Ma. Don't miss her as a panelist at a Women in Tech Week 2024. Thank you, as always, for inspiring us, Nina. Now let's go back to our topic, From Barriers to Breakthroughs, a journey of leadership in Haiti. In this episode, you will learn how diverse perspectives drive innovation and transformation. You will learn strategies to overcome challenges and turn obstacles into opportunities. And finally, we have a role model who is making a big change in Haiti. Whether you're a leader or passionate about building a more equitable future, Myrtho's story will inspire you to lead with purpose. Join us and let's ask our lovely guest, where is she joining us from? Hello, Myrtho. Where are you
So
joining
much.
us from?
I am joining you from Port-au-Prince, Haiti, which where I was born, and this is where I live. And I thank you again for such a marvelous introduction.
Oh, thank you so much. And apologies for the tricky live stream today because I turned as a snap camera for a moment there. But I'm back to my usual self, and you can hear and see my hearts and all the empathy messages to you all people around the world. So, Myrtho, there are some big questions and big asks at the beautiful country of Haiti. And now not many people realize that because outside of US, not many people celebrate, but actually till 15th of October, US is celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And I believe there is lots to take on board from there. One of the key aspects is that women in Haiti, in Hispanic countries, Latin America, are working hard. What are the other myths that not many people realize? And let's focus on the Haitian women. What not many people know, for example, in US, what was the biggest surprises when you told them about women in Haiti?
The biggest surprise for women in Haiti is that the situation of women in Haiti is not different from any other country. We live in a man's world, and for a woman to emerge as a leader has never been an easy task. Women have always had a hard time, to have a voice, to express their dreams and their aspirations, and to become leaders. And in my country, it's the same. We are a poor country, and in developing countries like mine, it's the situation is even dire because uh, we live in a very, in French we say patriarchal. It's a very, it's a world where the men lead. So for a woman to be able to earn her place in society has never been easy. I've been for 3 years the director general for the Ministry of Women's Rights, and I had the pleasure of going to the United Nations with the minister at the time, and I thought that my country was really one of the worst in women's rights, but I realized that going there, that there are a lot of other countries, especially in the Middle East, which were confronting the same kind of problems. And I know it's a worldwide battle, and it has to be fought on a daily basis. And I know that there are a lot of men around the world that are pro women, who understand that men and women, they complete each other, and we have to work together, to better our countries, our economies, society, and to make the world a better place to live in. So it hasn't been something different. It's even more difficult here. I've heard stories, and I've seen women struggling. So it's a daily battle. It's not something that we're gonna overcome, just overnight. It's something that's gonna take time. Of course, the battles that we fought already had given results that we are seeing, but there's still a long way to go. So I think that we, as women in the world, we have to come together, and with the men who really want to understand the cause of the women in development of the world, because the world cannot go without us. Women are creators. Women are the ones they are nurturers. They are leaders for the communities. They are guardian of all cultures. Women are very versatile. We have many caskets. So it's our
Well,
world is
we are coming to the same conclusion, Myrtho, and we could just wrap it up in one sentence. We want to be part of change. We
exactly,
want
and,
to
and we
be
want a
part of
voice.
parliament. We have a voice. We want to be heard. We want to have the seat on at the table. However, I'm wondering because there are some amazing statistics, and this is one thing that maybe you could explain to me. Because one thing that I've heard, and maybe it's a myth, maybe you could validate that myth, urban legend. However, I've heard that majority of women are single mothers raising their families because men do want to be part of the family. They like the drill, but they are not really supportive of their families, and it's women who have the burden of looking after the family, or after raising children, after bringing money. And quite often there is an upside here. Hold on a second. Most female entrepreneurs working in small business, like selling crops, selling goods, doing little manual work to sell their little bracelet and so on, are female. Is that correct?
Yes, Haitian women are, they are born entrepreneurs. If you come to Haiti, you'll be amazed of the quantity of women who will approach you to try to sell you something. I won't say, I don't have the statistics exactly. I know that we are 51% of the population is women. So we are the majority here in Haiti. I will not say that most women are single mothers, but many of them are single mothers. And it's been, it's even worse for a mother who of 3, 4, 5. And in Haiti, we have a tendency to have a lot of kids. Some women go to 10, 12 kids. So it's difficult, for a woman to be able to be the provider and the educator and the mom, the nurturer. So it's really, really difficult for a mother to, to fulfill all the roles, for a family. Unfortunately, in Haiti, women are not taken into consideration. For example, for having been at the central bank, realized one thing, that women are the ones who get less credit if they want to, they have a little, business and they want to expand. And that's the way it works. It's very difficult for them to obtain credit. But the history has proved that women were the best, the best people to reimburse their debts. Unfortunately, that's not the way maybe society sees it. So it has been, very difficult for them to, to own big enterprises and everything. It's only now they're doing it. While I was in office with the governor that was in place at the time and the team of the team that was at the board, we created funds for women entrepreneurs, and I think that this fund is working now. The actual governor having been with us at the board at the time. So I think we are doing our best really to, bring women to the table, to give them their space, their place in society, so that we can really expand our economy, which is already, it's a very difficult economy, from all the causes that you can think of. We've been in chaos for a long time, so it has been difficult to really maintain that economy to a certain level. But we were able, even, in spite of everything, we were able to just, stay afloat. And we are just hoping for the best.
Mhm. We're hoping for the best, but in the meantime, there are some amazing role models. And maybe you could tell us about Marie-Jean Lamartinière. I'm sorry if I'm not saying her name correctly. However, she played apparently a pivotal role fighting for Haiti's independence. She was a soldier who fought during the Battle of Crête à Pierrot, and there are some amazing examples of fighters who were fighting for change. Can you bring us some other role models that made big changes throughout history of Haiti?
Of course, we had Marie-Jeanne, which was, she played a very big role in our history, and she was a fighter. We have the one who sold our flag. And we had Claire Owers, which was the wife of Jacques Dessalines. That was he was a pillar for our independence. And we had so many more. Women have always played a big role in throughout history, and they were key in obtaining our independence at the time, and they keep playing that role now, in our society now, in the time that we are living in. And women have always been present in spite of the difficulties, the challenges. They've always been there to support and bring Haitian society to a certain level. And Haiti has not been in the place that it is today. Haiti at a certain time. And Beata, I lived in that Haiti where it was called the Pearl of the Caribbean. And I've lived in a country where, economy was great. Haitian people were very well known and respected throughout the world. We were, teachers in countries like Africa, in continent like Africa. We were hard workers in the USA, and we had a great economy. We had our currency was very strong. It was stable. So the things started to escalate right after the departure of the Duvalier in 1986, and maybe before their departure. But we've not always been at the point that we are here now. So I'm not going to really go deep into the causes of this. But all I can say is that since we are now living in this country and we are living now, what are we Haitians going to do to change the course and bring Haiti back to its, to its beautiful, the beautiful times that we knew? Haiti was very had a very flourishing tourism. We were a place that everybody used to come to. We have a great gastronomy, we have a great culture, we have a great music, we have everything for the world to come here and visit. And tourism besides agriculture, because Haiti, I used to study that our economy was based on agriculture, but today, unfortunately, it's not the case. We import most of the things that we eat, which is not normal, you know. But we have to go back to those times, and tourism was one of the main sources of revenue for the country. But given the situation now, the insecurity and the chaos, people just tend not to come here anymore. So it costs a lot to our economy. So we have a lot of work to do in Beata, and not only as women, but as a people, men and women. As I told you previously, we are a society, so we have to put ourselves together. It's not a question of being, I'm a woman, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but men and women have to just really realize that we complete each other, and we have a motto, which is l'union fait la force, which is the more people we are, the stronger we are. This is what it means. So if we come as a population, as a people, to fight, our battles, I believe that we can survive because we have it in us. We had ancestors who fought already. They gave us the best gift ever, independence. But
No
what we're
doubt
gonna do
about
about it? Yes, and we
No
have a
doubt
beautiful.
about it. I can see that in your veins. And I
Yes.
heard some amazing story about you, Myrtho, because among the violence, there was some amazing things that you did. How did you make it? How did you shape your career? What were the struggles and how did you overcome them?
Okay. My story is a very atypical one. I have a career path not similar to many people. I started a few years ago. I was 20 years old. I started as an executive assistant for many companies. My journey started like an executive secretary as for a chemical industry, and then I was in the same position for insurance companies, manufacturers and assemblers, car dealers, mink coat factories, and I integrated the world of finance and banking later. But to tell you the truth, I had the privilege to work for, and I have his name, but I don't think he wants me to mention him. I had the pleasure and privilege to work for somebody who saw in me a potential that I never saw in myself. I was an executive assistant in his organization, which was an NGO working with the USAID mission in Haiti. And once we had to go to the suburban areas, to inaugurate some hospitals that were being placed throughout the country, especially in the northeast, and northwest. And not having the time, to write his speeches, he gave me the responsibility, knowing that I had mastered, the projects that were being in place. So he really thought that I was just going to give him the bullet points so that he could just develop them on site. I did not do that. I just wrote the speeches completely. And he was really, really amazed. And from that point on, he told me that there is no way I'm going to be staying as an executive assistant. He requested from the USAID mission in Haiti that I be granted scholarship. And this is how I had the privilege to attend Howard University, where I learned management and communication, and I also took women in development course, which widened and broadened my knowledge. Seeing women struggling, and since I was sponsored by the USAID mission in Washington, the people in Washington, put me in contact with so many other, big key people, in Washington, and I had to attend many meetings And from those meetings, I started learning about women and their fights, children in nutrition, problems around the world. And when you're 2022, those are not things that you are really focusing on. So that was the key point for me where I started understanding that my mission was not just, you know, working, making money, and then traveling. No, I had a bigger mission than this. And something shifted in my mind. And that's how I really started my. When I came back to Haiti upon completion of my studies, I started my career as a director. And this is when I entered the world of finance, of banking, and I've worked, in many institutions like that in Haiti. And I was even appointed by presidential decree in school feeding program, where I was the leader of that school feeding program. And for 4 years, then I went to the Ministry of Women's Rights, where I was there for 3 years. And then at the board of the board of governors for Haiti Central Bank. And it was another perspective. It was another opportunity that was of, that I was given. That was a great opportunity for me to understand what was going on and how does a country work, how does the economy work. And it gave me a bigger perspective, and it allowed me also to meet great people. I've been traveling to many countries in Europe, and this is one of those countries that I had the pleasure to meet Patrick Young, and and which lead me to Beata. And I'm very grateful for you, for knowing you and meeting with you and seeing the great work that you're doing for women in on your platform, the platform that you use to emphasize the role and the importance of women, in society. So
It's bringing many voices. And speaking of Patrick Young, we have a comment. So marvelous to see the fabulous Myrtho René. Here it is. And explaining her wonderful ethos with women like this active. Making a better word for us all. I know that Patrick is at the moment at the conference. However, he managed to get his words across to us to congratulate on your amazing work and amazing things that you do, because it's really puzzling and a huge thing when I read that there is a huge literacy gap. Women in Haiti face a significant education gap. While progress has been made, literacy rates among women are still lower than those of men. Only around 60% of Haitian women are literate, to compared to about 80% of men. Why is that, Myrtha? Hello? Oh, I may have lost connectivity. Hello, hello. Can anybody hear me? So, since I cannot hear Myrto and I'm not sure whether I am being heard, let's go into other interesting topic for discussion today. So, not only there is a huge education gap, there is also a gender-based violence, I believe. We have Myrto back. So, Myrto, I'm not sure whether you've heard my question about the education gap and why only 60% of women pursue education while 80% of men are educated. Maybe you could explain why is there such a huge education gap?
yes, it's cultural, because in my country, most of families raise the boys to succeed in everything. The little girls, and this was back, to before independence, the little girls were there to just wake in the morning, go off, walk kilometers to get water, for the family to, cook and to take showers and everything. And when their brothers are being prepared to go to school and to go and learn, but they were confined to only a role of, staying at home, helping the mother to cook, helping to, seek for water, helping for washing clothes, ironing clothes, and they were just for domestic purposes only. But the little boys were like kings. They were the ones who were, sending to school. They were pushing them to, universities, because the boys were the ones that women, the mothers were preparing for society. But I must admit that over the last 20 to 25 years, there was a shift, and little girls started going to school as well, but not you always see a gap anyway between the little boys and the little girls. But there was a lot that has been accomplished in that particular, in that particular situation. I think that the more and more now the world is emerging, and the mothers also, because with computer now, with social media, they have models. They see now that women are really succeeding. They are great artists, they are great singers, they are great astronauts, they are presidents, they are prime ministers. So they instill in the mothers now the desire to see their little girl, achieve something in life. So now there is a they are more motivated, to do something about it. So now you see more and more little girls going to school, and reaching universities and everything. And it has been proven these days that there are a lot more women, uh, you know, interested in going uh, to college than men. So I'm very happy to see that shift. And I'm also happy to see that the society has the tendency of, changing a little bit. As I said previously, there is a long road to still walk on, but I think the path now is clearer, and the message is reaching, far, 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 in the suburbs of Haiti. Because before that, it was only boys. The society was about only boys, and now that change is really showing. Now you can see that in Haiti, many women are appointed ministers, director generals, and they are coordinators. They are in everything. We had women at the Senate, women as House representatives. So women are really emerging, and we are gonna keep on that fight with all the men who understand the value of putting women at the same level. I'm sorry, Beat, I'm losing you. I don't hear you.
Muted. Here I
Yes.
am. All right. So I'm just wondering about gender-based violence in Haiti, because there is a huge problem, which is more and more women are targeted uh, among the gang members as a fighting element. And, I've heard a story about one woman who taught her child, 13 years old daughter, to how to drive a car just in case her household has been attacked by some gang members. So at least the child will be capable of running out of the home. So I'm wondering, is there thing going to be changed, or is there anything that we should pay attention to, or how would could we help women in Haiti?
Oh, it's not only the situation, the chaos in security problems. Women in Haiti, we need help in every single, part of our lives. We have health problems in Haiti. We have nutrition problems, we have schooling problems, we have. I mean, it's a lot. The help can come on. They could come in many forms and in any situation because there are a lot of problems. It's not only with the gangs. The gangs are attacking everyone, whether it's men, women, children, everybody. So no one is spared. So it's a global situation that is addressed by the people that are in place today, and I think they are doing the best they can to to be able to eradicate that problem because it's a big one. And once since the more it lasts and the more the chaos is going to last. So I think they are very aware of it, and I think they are working towards solving the problem with the to the best of their abilities and with the resources that they have and those they are given by maybe our friends from abroad. The les pays amis d'Haïti, the people, the countries that have always been there for us, and they are doing the best they can because that situation just it didn't just happen. It took decades to get there. You know, so it's not gonna be resolved overnight. It's gonna take time to be resolved. So in the meantime, what do we do? So we have to keep living, we have to keep working, we have to keep planning because life happens every single day in spite of the problems. So I think the people in place who are really the people who have the power to decide, they are doing what they know and what they do best. They have to lead and they have to find the solutions. But
So one
it's not just a women problem, it's a global problem.
It is a global problem. However, you're focused on one particular area, which is financial inclusion. So, why do you believe financial inclusion could be beneficial for female rights?
Of course, financial inclusion is a big thing because now we live in a world where everything is the world is going very fast. In Haiti, we have more less a lot less than half of the population which have even an understanding of what is a bank account. you know so and to do that also we have to start at the very core, the basis, which is schooling, which is education. If we still have 70% of the population who doesn't know how to read, it's a problem. But in spite of it all, you see that Haitian people, men and women, they have a very they have a it's like it's in innate. It's a sense of entrepreneurship that is in them. So even if they don't know how to read, they don't know how to count, you don't know how they do it, but when they start selling something, they have a little business, they manage their business. Now that would be great if we could, educate these people and introduce them very early to the world of, banking, finance, and everything. Even for the kids that are at school today, the kids who are in high school and college. I wish that when I was in high school, I've been taught so many. What if I knew then what I know now? I would have made different choices in my financial uh, management, my personal financial management. You know, it's unfortunate that kids once it's only after college that they get introduced to a bank account. I've seen that with my boys. I have two boys. They are 27 and 24 now. But I remember when they were what? They were maybe 22. They didn't know how to write a check. So it's not something it's not in our curriculum, to teach kids how to be financially independent. This is something that we should maybe see with the Ministry of Education and see what notion could we, add up to the curriculum in school. So when the kids reach the 2 last years of high school, that they are introduced to those notions of, you know, finance, education, banking, and everything. Because the rest of your life, of their lives, are they're gonna be dealing with this, you know, and the management of your personal finances is gonna be key for them to know if they are gonna be, you know, still, because as I told you, Beata, you see that I was talking to, I don't know if it was with Gracie, and I said, I wish that before, you know, going into the world of working, I had read the book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, because that book opened totally my mind on the financial world. And this is an education that should start with kids at school so that they make the right choices for them and their families. And I think this could work, help a lot, you know, the economies of the world, because everybody has the same problem. We make poor choices because we lack knowledge. So we need to really be responsible and maybe uh, um, encourage, you know, the people that are deciding at the highest ranks to really think of the financial literacy for kids in school. Because I am telling you, me personally, I am so sorry that there are notions that I just got to learn when I was a lot older, you know. So
Well, I think let's face it, Myrtho. We are not that young anymore, but we are still trying to figure it out. However, there are soft skills that are very critical to the world of banking, finance, and many other positions and there are soft skills that really make us, and I mean us females, garner the knowledge much faster. And here is one quotation that Racy has prepared. When I finally got a management position, I found out how hard it is to lead and manage people. So, did you figure out how to manage and lead people, Myrtle? How did you do it?
I think when you manage people and when you are in the position of leadership, the soft skills to me are very, very, very important. They are going to determine your success or your failure. Whether you have all the diplomas, but whether you have a doctorate, but if you don't have those soft skills, you're gonna go, you're gonna really, you know, miss the train. Myself, my experience has taught me one thing. We need to have what you call emotional intelligence, which is this ability to, you know, to have great interpersonal skills, you know, to be able to exchange with people in all calm and serenity, try to understand them, try to, you know, find out about their dreams, about their motivation, be able to talk to them, because there are some personalities that are very, very difficult. So how are you going to deal with that if you don't acquire those skills where you need to be able to see throughout maybe body language what's going on? Because sometimes we think that we know what's happening and we miss it all. So it's those are the skills that you need, you know. Those the leadership comes with, you know, the ability of seeing the other for who he is. Because I always tell people around me, especially when I used to work in, you know, in in leader situations, where I always tell my peers, you know what, the institution or the organization is not it's not the building, it's not the desk, it's not the material, it's the people. So if we don't focus on the people, we miss everything. So the lesson I've been taught is that when you take care of your people, they take care of you and your organization. So this is something that I learned, and it works at all times. People are what uh, they are the ones who can bring you all the results that you're seeking or the objectives that you're pursuing. So if They will choose to come with you or with somebody else. I'll always take as an example. You take two doctors going to Harvard University, okay? There is one who's going to succeed and the other one might fail. You know why? Their attitude. Their attitude will determine their altitude. You know,
Oh,
one doctor
absolutely.
one doctor will be, I'm all, I went to Harvard and he thinks that he's all that and he's a summit, so nobody can talk to him. So the patients will come, he will just look at you, he'll send maybe a nurse to talk to you because he's too high to talk to you, his patients. This is doctor number one. Doctor number two is all people. When you come, how are you, Myrtho? How are you doing? And he takes care of you. How's your husband? How are your kids? How are you? I don't like your face today. What's wrong? And he's a people person. Everybody will come, will go to him and will leave the other one. But they both had the same teachers. They went to the same high class universities, but the attitude is different. So those soft skills are important in your success. And if you can,
Absolutely.
yeah,
I would also add, because there is something I heard the other day, which is everybody's got empathy, but not everybody is mature in their empathy. And one of the signs of maturity is not just listening, but hearing what they are listening. And I think this is a very important topic you mentioned here. It is paying attention to the small details, because in this very fast environment, when we are bombarded with lots of information at the nanosecond, we have attention span of a fish and we cannot focus fully. It is very important when you're leading your team to step back, listen to your team member, and think before you speak. So, since we are not only thinking, we are also strategizing. So, Myrtho, we were discussing the things that women should do, and what advice would you give to females to help their career or start an entrepreneurial journey?
the first thing they should do is to assess what is it that they want to do. Where do they see themselves performing? Where are they good and what they want to do for the rest of their lives? And once you assess that, you start taking actions toward the realization of your objectives. And those objectives, they always say that the objectives are smart. They are specific, they are measurable, they are achievable, they are relevant, they are time bound. So the first thing is to know, what is it that I want to do to succeed? What do I see? Which in which industry do I see myself performing? And once I establish that, I start taking actions toward the realization of my objective. And the second thing is to have a mentor. I always say there is a difference to me. This is me speaking. There is mentor and counselor. The mentor has he already walked your path. So he knows all the danger of all the failures and everything. So he's telling you what he knows. The counselor may tell you what he heard of, so look for a mentor and be a mentor for others. And the other thing you could do also is to ask questions. Ask questions about what what industry that you are going to, what industry are you interested in, and ask questions to people who are already there. And you seek for help. People always think that when they need help, they are afraid of seeking for help because to them it's a weakness. Not at all. It's a sign of intelligence. It saves you both time and energy. So when you ask for help from the people who know, you go faster and you go very well. And also there is and you never give up. You have to brace yourselves for those bad days that are gonna come because life is going to happen. Whether you have a big, medium, or small enterprise, you're gonna have bad days. So you have to brace yourselves for them, not let yourself being discouraged by the many challenges that are gonna come your way, because they are part of life. They are there to shape you, to shape your future, to shape your character. for you to, be able to stand up when the mountains are gonna be facing you. You'll be able to climb them with courage, with determination, and you will eventually get to the top. This is the way people got to the top. If you read stories of successful people, they've had all the struggles of the world, but they never give up. So that's my strategy. Also, if I get beaten down for 100 times, I get back up 101 times. It's never ever give up on your dreams. And something else, never share your dreams with a dream killer, because
Ah,
there are people out there, there are family, there are friends, there are colleagues. They will tell you, please, are you crazy? You want to do this? You want to do that? But you cannot share a dream of having a plane with somebody who never had a bicycle. He will not understand it. You cannot put a 20 by 20 idea in a 5 by 5 minded person. It won't fit. So share your dreams with people who will go the same way. People who have, you know, people who have the same dreams, and especially if you are going to do something for yourself, do not share it with anyone that's gonna kill your dream. Because those dream killers are great, they are good. They tell you all the things that maybe you can, get yourself into believing, because they have their way. Because misery likes a company. Because what are they afraid of is that your success can become their failure. So do not listen to people. You have your own program, you have your own objective, you have your own agenda. Follow it. Do not listen to no one. Do not look at people. Do you. And this is the only way for you to get there.
oh, I love that. Misery likes company, but so is positivity. And we want to have this ripple effect of positivity. And we want to infect everyone who's listening to us, because it is not an easy life for Myrtho. So, Myrtho, how are you grinding every day in the violent country? Well, let's face it, it's still not over. There is still a lot of uncertainty. How do you cope with that? How do you push through another day, not knowing whether your currency will be worth anything tomorrow?
Living in Haiti is a choice. Living in Haiti is to be resilient, is to be faithful, is to be, to have faith in this country where you were born. I chose to stay in Haiti because it's the place that God had put me in. And I was born in Haiti for a reason. So there is no way I'm going to live in another country than this one. So I have no other choice either. My only choice is to contribute for that country to go back to uh, its beautiful state. Haiti has been the pearl of the Caribbean. With hard work, dedication, and courage, we can be the diamond of the Caribbean one day. And I know that in my lifetime, if we all do what needs to be done, it can be achieved. Haiti is a beautiful country. As I said previously, a country is not the trees, it's not the land, it's the people. The people of Haiti are nice people. They are very welcoming people. They are smiling people. We have a great history. We have the great culture. We have a great gastronomy. We have great sites. We have great beaches. We are a beautiful country. We have the beautiful land. And the land is still the same. The situation is the way it is now because the some people, and they are not a lot. We are 12 million Haitians. Maybe the problem is for 2,000 people. But what are 2,000 people among 12 million people? So I believe that if we really put ourselves and our hearts into it, we can solve the problems. Because Haitian people believe in their country. Haitian people are
Amen
hard
to that,
workers.
sister.
Yes, we are
I
hard
send you
workers.
the power and I send you lots of empathy. And Myrto, as we are heading towards the end of our show, I was just wondering because we always like to quote Eleanor Roosevelt's quotation, which says, "Women are like tea bags. You never know their true strength until you put them in hot water." So
That's
I'm
true.
wondering, how are you brewing? Are you a mellow Melissa garden tea, or are you a hot chai?
I am brewing, and I'm gonna keep on brewing. You know why? I've I've been in very hot situations in Haiti, both personally and in my career. Personally, in the earthquake of 2010, I lost my sister of 39 years old and her two kids, 12 and 9, Coralie and Olivier, who died in 30 seconds. And I was talking to my sister 1 hour before the earthquake hit. And when that happened, I was, you know, completely crushed. But while being crushed, I learned that the house that we had since I was a kid, that my father built, was a family house, had collapsed as well. And my mother was living there with my brother. My brother is a gynecologist, a well-known gynecologist in Haiti, and he was at the hospital. He had just delivered a baby. It was a C-section, and when the earthquake hit, fortunately for him, the hospital where he was didn't collapse, but there was a lot of breaches on the wall, so they had to evacuate all the patients and put them on the yard. And then when the earthquake, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Okay.
loud and clear. Yes.
When the earthquake hit, I knew that my two boys and my husband at the time uh, uh, had gone to a supermarket where they had to buy some things for me. And I heard that that supermarket had collapsed also. So being on the streets myself and working at the central bank at the time, all I knew is that something had happened, but I don't know who is where. So it was a very crazy moment where I lost it for maybe a few seconds. Right after, I told myself, you cannot get crazy because you need to assess the situation and know how you're going to deal with it. And this is how I got home rapidly because I was coming from downtown to Pétionville, where I started seeing, building, collapsed buildings. I saw kids under the rubbles in many schools. I saw people getting out of the rubbles, totally covered with blood. I saw horror. Okay, so when I got home, fortunately, my husband had the great idea of walking with the boys on the streets so that I can see them once I get, close to my house. And it was a relief. But I knew that I had to find my sister because I already knew that my brother was safe. And she wasn't answering. Her husband wasn't answering. The kids were not answering. And I knew that she probably was still at work because she had told me on the phone that the boys, her kids, they were at my mom's, and her husband had taken them to the office that she was, because she was an entrepreneur. She was a great entrepreneur, and everybody was at the same, in the same place. So they were all in her business building. And I told my husband, we cannot find Shirley, so we need to find her. So we went there, and when I was, going through all the robots and everything, I couldn't see the building. So in my head, I knew that the building had collapsed. The car was still running. I got out because to me it was not possible. I got out. I fell on the floor, but it didn't even matter. I just got back up, and then I started running toward the collapsed building. When I got there, there was a man that was around that I knew, and he told me that your sister is not there. The little boy is dead. There was only the daughter and the husband that are still talking. I got under the rubbles. I saw my sister. I saw my nephew. I saw my niece who was still alive, and I saw my brother-in-law. So we dug all night, and we got my the two one the my niece and my brother-in-law. They were still breathing, so we got them out. So we tried to, bring them to the hospital where my brother was working, but everybody was on the yard. But there's nothing we could do for Coralie anymore because she was crushed under the rubble. Everything was hurting. She had two broken legs. She was just 12, but very aware of what was going on. She told us what happened. She made closure for us. And the day after, she died in my arms. And in the meantime, I never got home. I could never. In the meantime, I tried to know where my mother was, and they told me that she was safe. The house had collapsed, but she was safe and sleeping on the street with neighbors. So I knew that she was fine. And when Coralie died, I didn't know how to get back home to tell my mom that she lost her daughter and two grandkids at the same time. And when that happens to you, you have two choices. It's either you go crazy and you just let go, or you get back up, you strengthen yourself, and you say, "It happened. There's nothing I can do about it. What am I going to do now for those who are still there?" And this is the choice that I had made. So my mother's house had collapsed. My brother was with my mom, so was living with my mom with his family. So I had to take everybody in my house because my house was still safe. So now I had the responsibility of my brother-in-law who had just lost his wife and two kids in 30 seconds. I had to take care of my mom, and my mom is very old, and she had to deal with the loss of her daughter and two grandkids. I had to deal with my brother who was, mourning his sister and nephews, and I had to deal with my own misery, my own pain. But you know what? I had to be strong because I had the responsibility of lives of survivors for so many people that I was sheltering. And we were all sleeping on the streets because there is no way, nobody wanted to be under the rubble. There were those aftershocks. So it was chaos. And that taught me a lesson of resilience. And this is what Haitian people are made of. We are made of steel. Because after that earthquake, we lost 350,000 people. In any other country, it would have been suicides and people going nuts, going crazy. But you know what? We grew together. We prayed because we are a very we are a country where faith is very high, whether it's, you know, whether religion or anything, people believe in what they believe and they believe strongly. So we grew together through that pain, through that hardship, and we survived. And it has not been easy. It's not something that I'm going to forget because I learned to live with it. It's my reality. But it taught me also that anything that you want to overcome, you can. Even if it's in a horrific situation or not, you can overcome anything. And those are facts of life. There is nothing you can do to prevent those things from happening. They happen or they don't. But once they do not see the thing that happens because you cannot do anything about it. It's what you're going to do about it. What happens to you is not important. It's what you do with it. Because if I had chosen to just crash, I would have been just crushed. But I
You have
chose
to,
to I chose
as
to
we
be
say,
strong,
in
and I
our
went through the
life,
situation, and that's it. So we
in
don't know
our
what we
life
can do
stream,
until we are in the hot seat.
absolutely. In our live stream, we always repeat this mantra. If you look at positives, the positives get more positive. We have to focus on the outcomes that are positive. You're still alive, you are able to give support to your daughter, to your brother-in-law, to your brother, and you can move forward because you've got something to live for and you have a mission, and your mission is to change Haiti into a better place. So what's happening in your world? What is your plan? Is there anything exciting on your horizon?
Of course, I have personal plans, because I'm gonna turn 61 in 4 days, and probably
Congratulations!
thank you. And yeah, I'm not gonna be working my whole life through. So probably I'm gonna be doing my own thing. So I'm gonna probably my dream has always been to have in event planning because this is what I want to keep doing for the rest of my life, because I'm a very peppy person. I'm a very, I like organizing things for the birthday party. And I love organizing things. So this is one thing that I want to do for the rest of my life, not having to have the burden of working, working, working. So it's going to be working with pleasure, working with enjoying what I'm doing. And I know that everything that you do, even when once you have your own enterprise, it comes with it's load of problems. It's okay. So I can deal with that, because my past and my career path will help me, because I've acquired a lot of skills in the long run. And
So what
but on another note, we are working on other projects for the country. Why? Because I understand one thing: when there is a crisis, there are also opportunities. So while the crisis is happening, we are working to get ready, so that when things get better, we are ready to step into something positive. So there is the one big project that you know about, Beata, and that we are working very hard on, and other projects that are coming. They are country projects, so that's why I'm not gonna talk about it, because for the purpose of confidentiality, but we are working on so many levels with so many things, because we want to achieve something for this country.
So now, then, last, well, probably almost last question of today is, what is your North Star, or sometimes, as we like to call it, life lesson quote? Some things that you live by every day, and why is it so important, this quotation?
Okay, my quotation would be: if you when you are grateful for, the more you are grateful, and the more you will have a reason to be grateful for. Um, I believe in an attitude of gratitude at all times. And there is a reason for it. Life always grants you what you need at the moment. Life is going to hand you the cards that you have on hand, and do not try to play somebody else's card. Those are the set of cards that is given to you for that moment, because this is what you can handle now. But it doesn't mean that those cards cannot change. Of course, they will change, because life is the big space for learning. And when you pass the classes, you go to a higher class. And when you go to that higher class, you have other cards that that you'll be able to deal with. Unfortunately, in life, maybe sometimes we want to achieve things rapidly. We want, instant gratification. Life doesn't work like that. you know you need I learned that uh, what we call bénéfice différé in French. It's called, when you have, it's better to have, it's good to have one cookie today to have 10 cookies tomorrow. Okay, but it's okay to have one cookie today, because if you have one
Absolutely.
cookie today, you know how to deal with that cookie, then you can multiply and have 10 cookies later. But everybody wants to have 10 cookies now, and that's
Oh,
why they start
totally.
doing exactly. And this is when we make all the mistakes. We go into corruption and everything else, because everybody wants everything right away. It doesn't work like that. Life is about the path. It's the whole journey. People
Small
will always see your success, but they will never know the path. They will never know the struggles. They will never know the challenges that you went through to get there you know
Absolutely. So
so
let's imagine that you could meet anyone in the world for a private breakfast. Who would it be, and where would you choose to meet them face to face?
why, that would definitely be it would be Oprah Winfrey, because I believe that Oprah is an example of success in the world. I think I have a lot to learn from that woman. She's a great person. She's a philanthropist. She's a great businesswoman. She has gone through so many hardships and rejection, and she took it all. It's like, I remember once she was saying in one of her show that I was watching, and she was saying that Instead of taking all the rocks they're throwing at you, just take them, step on them, and they will bring you up. So she built on everything so-called negative that happened to her. So she's my role model. So I would probably love spending a morning with her, exchanging. Maybe she would be my mentor. I would love to have somebody like that mentoring me. Beautiful breakfast in maybe Geneva, or you know and why not, we could exchange, and I would have a lot to learn from such a personality, such a character, such an amazing woman.
And can you imagine her coming to Haiti? How many people would all of a sudden heard about the beautiful country of Haiti? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the show. I'm sorry that it took such a long discussion, and some of our members are already past their time. We were a bit late and we had so much to cover. Myrtho, thank you so much for sharing your insight and experiences with us today. Your work is an example of how you can crush it against all odds. Next week, we're gonna have Linda Lawton. She's going to talk about Tales of Dyslexic Coder. And thank you so much to our lovely audience who participated. Thank you, Patrick, for joining us. And as always, our positivity quote comes from Positive Thinking Only and goes, look for something positive in each day, even if some days you have to look a little harder. And finally, a quotation of Maya Angelou. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Today is your future, ladies and gentlemen. Hack the positivity you want. Thank you, Myrtho. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Beata. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.